What's good? How you doing? It's your girl D back with another video. So this is actually a let me scoot in and get close for the story time. So this is actually kind of an informal one, and I really haven't talked about this kind of stuff on my channel. I've talked about it on my Instagram and my Facebook page, but I never actually brought it to you guys, my subscriber audience and friends and YouTube family. So, hey, how do I want to begin this? Okay, so those who have been around know that I cosplay. Cosplay is a play on words, costume players or costume play. Pretty much getting dressed up in costume for kicks and giggles when it's not Halloween. For conventions, special events, I do charity and volunteer work as well too, but I didn't really make it like a dedicated habit thing until 2017, and there's starting to be a little bit of other eyes outside of just my respective bubble and my friends and family who are becoming aware, and so that's what I've never talked about on this channel. Back in February, I did enter Planet Comic-Con Kansas City, their costume or the cosplay contest with my build of Wonder Woman, and it was made entirely from scratch. EVA foam, craft foam, cement glue, hot glue, super glue, more glue, some sewing that was done as well too, some spray painting, some hand painting. It took 6 weeks basically of working in the dead of winter and in the little bit of kind temperatures that we had, filling my house with paint fumes on multiple occasions. And it took quite a bit, but for being my very first completely from scratch build, with the exception of Noob Saibot that I made for Kansas City Comic-Con back in 2017, and that was my first sewing build, but without patterns. So anyhow, Planet Comic-Con brought about a little bit of exposure, just a little bit, just like that. But we weren't going for exposure. We were going for accomplishment in a sense of purpose, and showing that, you know what, I can do makeup pretty good, and I can make things here and there, but let's go ahead and challenge myself and actually put myself out there so that I'm holding myself accountable. That's where all that came from. Cool. And so eventually more cosplays came. So for Kansas City Comic-Con, I had Noob Saibot. Before that, I did a gender bend version of Indiana Jones, and I also had a store-bought version of Chun-Li, but I still had to make embellishments. And then 2018 brought about Wonder Woman. After Wonder Woman was another a version of Storm. There was also Spidey or Spider-Girl, because Spider-Woman, it was like a mashup between Spider-Woman and Spider-Girl. Then that brought about more sewing, more crafting, more making things. And here I am in the end of 2018 with 9 cosplays that we've done over the past 365 days, and it's wild. And I don't know where, how, or when, but I feel accomplished. But there's a couple things that I said I didn't mention here on the channel that there's a little bit of recognition that has come about, and so I wanted to share that with you guys. If you weren't already aware, some of it is old news, and some of it keeps repeating, or I wouldn't say necessarily that it's old news, because it's stuff that I've known, but also at the same time, again, I didn't necessarily share it with you all, with this particular audience. I wanted to address it because people keep tagging me on Facebook, and it's just like, all right, cool. So first up, there is a website called Punk Black, and they were looking for Street Fighter cosplayers, and I had my Chun-Li. Although my Chun-Li was a store-bought one, I got it from Amazon. You guys saw how I needed to embellish the sash. I also needed to go ahead and add some more ribbons onto the Odongo covers. And of course, making sure that I modified the spike bracelets. That video blog, I'll go ahead and float that wherever it floats. Should be there. So, but still, you know, just because you buy a cosplay does not make you any less of a cosplayer. The individual wearing the cosplay, that's who the cosplayer is. And as I have gotten a little bit better at making things, that's where so much of 2018 came from. But Punk Black, they reached out, they were looking for Street Fighter cosplays, and I submitted some of my pictures because I had an awesome photo shoot with Sam. I don't know if it's Pho or Fo. I think it's Fo. From the photo shoot that I did back in 2017, and they also had used some of those pictures for their flyers and their promotion. And here's the thing, I forgot I did that shit. Legit. Completely forgot that I did it. I submitted it, and then the next thing I knew, they had an event come up, and they're tagging Diana the Great, tagging Diana the Great, tagging Diana the Great, and I was like, who is this? And then I was like, I think I did give them my pictures. You know, like going back, scrolling through the email, and all of a sudden, oh, I did. Okay, cool, awesome. And then at some point in time between the submission of the pictures and then the use of the pictures, I provided them with an interview as a cosplayer, and it was a very well written interview. It was a very well articulated interview, and I'm not saying that because of me and how I responded, but the questions, as well as how it is that they wrote things. They made sure to incorporate other pictures from my Instagram on the interview as well too, to tie in with everything. And so I was just like super freaking humbled. So there was that, and that like neato skeeto. And then in use of the Wonder Woman picture, again, I have a couple professional pictures that were taken at Planet Comic-Con. One was from Chuck Mason here in Kansas City. Another one was from Joe, I think, Hartley. And they both were working and getting all of the cosplay contests participants right as they got off the stage. So they have these really awesome pictures. Chuck's is nice with warm lighting, and he makes my eyes look like super alluring and amazing. And Joe's has cool blue lighting that just makes I'm like, there's levels of narcissism when it comes to my cosplay photography that I really try not to impose upon other people, because I think I look great, but also I'm not trying to like hype myself up. I want to be still humble, but the point of this video is to hype myself up. So there was that, and so there's all this floating that you'll see. Next up, in June, I got a DM on my Instagram saying, hey, we would love to use one of your Wonder Woman pictures in a video about another Wonder Woman cosplayer. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. By all means, here you go. Don't care. And they had never mentioned who the Wonder Woman cosplayer was. Cool. I didn't ask. I'm just like, shh, promo? Go for it. I don't care. So they actually, this is a little bit more thorough than usual because they actually had me sign a waiver release. And I scanned, emailed it back over immediately. They had snagged one of my pics from Instagram. And, you know, just wanted to make sure that they, you know, had full legal rights to use it, which, you know, by all means, cool, fine. And then I forgot about it. I legit forgot about it. By all means, was, you know, no issues there. And so then around, I think that was maybe the beginning of June. So around mid-July, maybe the end of July, I get a message from one of my cosplay friends saying, Diana, you're in this video.
Wonder Woman is a very special costume to me. People really gravitated towards it. First of all, Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. That is literally the OG woman superhero. And it was really cool online in general, just seeing different women of different ethnicities cosplaying Wonder Woman. And I think people really gravitated towards that. Not to mention, I think I did a decent job.
So I go and look, and it is a very well-known cosplayer. Her name is Jasmine Mackie James, and her online handle is CutiePieSensei, and she is an amazing cosplayer and seamstress and builder based out of Atlanta, and I have followed her work for months and months and months because when I was looking to be Wonder Woman, I wanted to see other Black Wonder Women out there, such as myself, and not necessarily the comic book Nubia, which is still awesome because that was Wonder Woman's sister. You know, Wonder Woman had a Black sister, her name was Nubia. No, like, bump all that. Like, actually, Black women, but Wonder Woman. That's what I want to see. And she is one, I studied so much of her work, her build, scrolled all the way back to like early pictures of Instagram of hers sharing the cosplay, and she was featured by the SYFY network for her cosplay work and a little bit more detail about her Wonder Woman build. And in the video she highlights how it is awesome to see other women of different ethnicities and sizes and shapes and things of that nature cosplaying as Wonder Woman, and then insert a picture of me. And so there's that. And again, the individual who reached out with the disclaimer and the release waiver, he didn't mention that he was with SYFY. He just said, hey, we want to use your picture in a video about another Wonder Woman cosplayer. You down and all? And I was like, yes, absolutely. Here you go. Never mentioned it was for SYFY. Never mentioned it was for CutiePieSensei. And I got to thinking, when I started getting tagged all over Facebook with my friends and my cosplay friends, like, Diana, you're in this video. Diana, you're in this video. Even if it's a hot second, Diana, you're in this video. And it keeps making its rounds where people kept sharing and sharing and sharing. And it's just like, thank you. You know, like, super thank you. And I think another reason why I didn't necessarily cover it here on my YouTube channel is because I don't want to ride on her coattails, but I still want to, you know, make you guys aware in a sense, like, hey, this did happen if you did see it. I'd seen the video on Facebook quite a bit, but I had never been able to find the YouTube link until recently, where one of my Facebook friends, Flo, she shared it and was like, hey, I just happened to have been being a nerd, and here you go. Like, I think I saw you. I think that was you. And I was like, that was. So, yay. And I have to give a huge shout out to another cosplayer, another Wonder Woman cosplayer. Her name is Dominique Sky, who is based out of Texas. And Dominique, before we became friends, before I even knew anything other than the fact that she was amazingly pretty and super freaking talented, she had done Wonder Woman multiple times, and she did her build and her version of it, and I was fangirling over it and asking all these questions about how she made it. And she's like, yeah, just inbox me. And she gave me a full video rundown of how she fused her film together with the other pieces that she has. And I will never forget that. She gave me the blueprint for how it is that she did it. And even though it didn't necessarily quite work, it still helped me enough, at least for me and my body shape, because we're fluffy as fuck out here. But she still helped to get all of that kick-started. And as it turns out, throughout the months, she's been one of my biggest supporters. She's been an advocate. She's been a friend. She has been a confidant. She's been a hero. And it was because of her she plugged me to SYFY, because CutiePieSensei plugged her as a Wonder Woman cosplayer. So it's just like this huge circle of women uplifting other women. And I'm like, girl, I don't know if you will ever see this, but if you do, I motherfucking love you, and I will to the day I die. You already know why. But anyways, so that's how that all came about. And I'm just super freaking humbled, man. Like, I really am. And this cosplay thing, you know, it's not to, like, this is my happy place. Creating and making stuff. Whether it is editing a video for YouTube, whether it is staying up to all hours of the night sewing, whether it is gluing, cutting. I still have a burn from my heat gun from making Wonder Woman. By the way, I have a heat gun. Do you know what a heat gun is? I know what a heat gun is. I didn't know what a heat gun was before Wonder Woman. Now I know. Or the different scars that I have from cutting shit and everything. Like, making stuff is my happy place. So you will always see me on this channel. You will always see me creating something in some way, shape, or form, because that's what brings me peace. And cosplaying and expressing my love of whatever fandom it is, whether it's DC and Wonder Woman, whether it's Marvel and Spider-Girl, whether we want to go over to anime with Sailor Moon. By the way, NakaCon 2019, stay ready so that you don't have to get ready, because I'm coming for that cosplay contest of something under my belt. But making stuff makes me happy. And I am a huge nerd and will forever be a nerd. But also, the cool thing is, sometimes I'm the only nerd in a certain circle of friends, and then I wind up being the subject matter expert. So it's like a mutual beneficial thing. You know, I actually offered consultative services this past Halloween for suggestions for people's Halloween costumes, where it is that they could get particular items and accessories or things of that nature. You know, I know how to work on your face paint. I'm not the ace at it, but I can. I am pretty decent. You know, many times we had to pay our motherfucking self blue. Shit, I am decent, but I don't generate revenue from this anyway. I usually, a lot of times, the cosplay builds wind up, you know, I wind up losing money with making it, but also, you know, the satisfaction of knowing that I created something, even though it's agonizing to go through it. And a cosplay isn't a cosplay until it's pissed you off at least 3 different times. You know, be that as it may, I'm happy to be a cosplayer. My creating season is over, at least when it comes to cosplay, since Halloween is done. So we're going to be focusing on the cons for next year. NakaCon, which is an anime-based con here in Kansas City, that's going to be coming up first. And then after that is Planet Comic-Con 2019. And that is March 29th, 30th, and 31st. Naka is 2 weeks before that ish. I think around the 15th-ish or something like that. And some of my karate kids go to Naka every year, so this will be my first year going to Naka, but I'm gonna come for that costume contest. I got something pretty badass that I'm planning, but I'm actually gonna keep it under wraps, like I always do, until after it's done. But if I get a head start now, then I won't stress. And that's what I may wind up doing, or I may start on it in January. I don't know. But anyhow, other than that, you won't see any more like cosplay related stuff, at least making anything new. You won't see that until next year, but we'll still always be creating something. So anyhow, it's like I said, it's just an informal talk with me. Hey, I do cosplay things, and a couple people might have had eyes out there for it. So, you know, thank you for supporting the Real G. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you have any questions or suggestions, hit your girl up in the comment section. If you are new here, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'd love to see you back on my channel. But if you're not here for me, my shenanigans, my opinions, or anything else it is that you don't like, that's fine. There's an X in that corner for you to click, get your live, and get out of my channel. But if you are here for my shenanigans, you're beautiful, amazing, wonderful, spectacular, and if no one else has told you, I appreciate you. You guys have a wonderful day.